Okay, so good evening to all of us. Mbiazi Damkam, Mumbai Huafun. So, often kia yet, mam ngam nazna tiak online classes zudu. So my name is Kambai once again, and I'll just go straight to the point. Then, as soon as possible, we should finish this very lesson, so that by the time 1 o'clock, 1 hour is approaching, we would have been able to escape YouTube. It's because after 1 hour is done, we'll hardly be able to reconnect again and record our meetings. So I'll share my screen right away, and then we're going to see what we have on our outreach, on our project page. Okay, so this is the event page for the Wiki Bootcamp of the Tyap language. This is the third season since we started in 2024. And for those of us who have been present with us, thank you for staying with us thus far. And we also hope that you were able to be different from the way you came. Maybe earlier on you came with a mind of having not having the orthography of the Tiab language in your mind. Maybe you don't have an understanding of what is possible and what is not possible in the orthography. And possibly, hopefully, you must have learned what is possible in the Tiab language, like what we are going to find out today. So this is our sixth lesson since we started, and today being the 7th day of August 2026, we are proceeding to letter clusters in the language. So, what are letter clusters? Um, a letter cluster can either be a consonant or vowel cluster. And what is a consonant cluster? This is when we have more than one consonant sound coming together without a vowel coming in between them. And then what is a vowel cluster? When we have more than one vowel sounds coming together without a consonant sound in between them, that's a vowel cluster. And examples of consonant clusters, we have SHY, for example. You don't see I in between SH and then I and then Y. We have SH, Y, we have B, Y, we have B, W, we have, there are many in the Tiap language. And then vowel clusters are practically and technically the diphthongs we have, and even triphthongs sometimes. So we have UI, we have AI, we have A underscore U, we have EI. There are many in the language, at least 7 of them. And these clusters can either be at the middle or at the beginning or at the end of a particular word. And earlier on, we discovered that Tiab language has about 24 letters of the alphabet. But then under these 24 letters of the alphabet, we have other sounds that are present. Like under letter A, we have these sounds. We have and the examples of words we have bat, lag, tan, san. We have the long monophthong of this very sound. We have lad, we have bad, we have nat, and we have fat. We have this I diphthong, and then we have kai, we have bai, we have shai, we have fi. We have this sound. This sound under we have a guam, we have a len, we have a fang, and then we have a fun, and then we have the long sound, which is the diphthong. I mean the long one of tongues, short sound. And under this one we have bird, we have curry, we have cocoa, and then we have the diphthong again. Then we have examples like bay, we have way, we have kate, and then we have kasei, and then we have the last one oh here, and under here we have low, we have ko, we have atosa, and then we have go. That's letter A. Then we go to letter E. We have the A sound, we have the A sound, we have the A sound, and then we have the air sound. And we have examples under them as well. And then we come to the E sound. we have the E, we have the ear, and then we have E long monophthong sound, and then we have the But unfortunately, in the Tyap language, we don't have the long monophthong sound, except maybe when we elongate, like we say Z. But then if we are saying Z or Z, we don't usually write double I underscore. We just write it as normal as we would write this kind of Z short form. So if you're interested in knowing how to call the words, maybe I'll call them best of my ability. So we have the examples such as yet, we have yet, we have jet, and then we have akabe, and then we have bait, we have net, we have jet, we have temid, and then we have yay, we have tay, we have tway, we have biay, then we have bang, we have nyang, we have back, and then we have nyak. Then under the E sound, we have bim, we have lien, we have nyen, we have li, and then we have a nya, and then we have E, we have a T, and then we have chun and then we have nyinyet. And then here we have tin, we have nzit, we have z, and then we have a biuk, a biuk. And then under the letter O, we have examples such as long, tongue, jojod, and otong. They are under this short monophthong O sound, and then we have the long monophthong O sound. Examples, we have dode, we have fold, we have low, and then we have fo, and then we have the last one, which is the U sound, letter U, and under it we also have the short monophthong U sound, and what under it examples, we have lung, we have bung, we have dudung, and then we have lu, and we have the long monophthong U sound. Under it, we have examples such as lewd, we have code, we have food, and then we have node. And these are the vowel sounds we have in the Tyap language according to the 24 basic letters of the alphabet. But if by venture you are to count all the letters of all the vowel sounds we have in Tyap language, they have to count how many are under letter A, how many are under letter E, how many are under letter I, O, and letter U. And if we are to count, you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we have at least about 19 vowel sounds in the Tyap language. There could be more than this 19, but research is still ongoing for us to discover which ones we will be able to capture, which ones we will not be able to capture. Like in the English language has about 20 of such sounds, of such vowel sounds, but Tyap has about 19 as we have it captured in this very document. And then we also have the consonant clusters. The same thing, we have each group according to which letter of the alphabet it falls under. So we have the pure B sound or the fortis B sound, and then we have the Lenis B, labialized B sound. We have the longer version of this B. So we have B, and under B we have by, we have boot, we have B, boom, and then bed, and then we have this labialized form of the B sound. And then we have examples such as buak, we have buak, we have buang, and then we have buat. Then we have the long version of this BW. This is actually supposed to be BWW, but then I think probably the writers of the orthography didn't want too much of consonant sounds present in the language, in the words. So the second W was reduced to U, and the same thing for this very one. It's supposed to be BYY, but then the second I was reduced. I mean, the second Y was reduced to an I, so we still list this one as a consonant cluster as it is. It's supposed to be BYY here, it's supposed to be BWW here. So this is boo, and then this is book. So buak, and then we have buak. We have buak, and then we have buak, and so on and so forth. And then we have bui, and then we have buan, and then we have the B, which is the palatalized form of this pure B sound. And then we have bia, we have biat, we have biod, and then we have biang and beard, but here we have beer, we have beard, we have beak, we have beak. So in this very case, we somehow kind of have like a Z, due to the stressing of this B sound in the language, in the calling of the cluster. So sometimes some people would write BZY because of what they hear, but linguistically we write it BYI, not BZY. So just take note, whenever you hear the BZ sound, it's actually BYI in this very one. And sometimes right here, you kind of hear a kind of W instead of work. We sometimes hear work as if there's a W, I mean, like a V hiding somewhere. But then it is BWU, not BVW in Tyap. But in U, that could be found, and also in Taka, I mean, Toku. And then under letter C, we have about 5 clusters, or about 5 variants of letter C. And then we have the cha sound. Under it, we have chan, we have chan, we have chen, we have chen, we have chi, we have tanchuk, we have chong, and then we have a chuchuk. And then we have the labialized form of this pure ch sound. Examples, we have chuan, we have chwai, we have chwad, and then we have the palatalized form of this chi sound. Then we have cham, and then we have chok. Then we have the long version of this chi sound. This is chi now. And under it, we have chi. Chi, we have chian, and then we have a chian. And then we have the palate labial form of this very chi sound. And underneath, we have chuo, which is leopard. We have chuang, which is maybe to gossip or maybe little ones. And then we have tree or tree, which is rat. And then we have letter D. Under letter D, we have dudung, we have dondong, we have dam, we have dede, and then we have dedang. These are pure D sounds and words that have pure D sound. And then we have the palatal D sound, under which we have diang, we have diep, we have deep, we have diap, and then we have diam and dun, which is black. And then we have the palate labial form of it. And the only example we have here is dui, which is the first person form for lui, to beat something or to hit something. So you see that we don't have DW. In other words, the orthography will not employ DW, even though maybe in the Bible, New Testament, you may see DW, but then probably there should be a review of that very one, because in Tyap it will be said dwi instead of dwi. Maybe there could be dialects or sub-dialects that say bui, but the general or most common form for this very word is dwi, instead of bui. So we don't have DW in the language, and that's what we should have in mind if you are giving a dictation, which we are going to do when we come in person. If someone's or the person who is dictating says write ndwi, ndwi, it will be very good that you know that we don't have DW in the language. If we must have D and a W, a Y must come in between D and W, and this is practically what we call orthography. We don't have some combinations, but we have some other combinations. When we go to letter F, we have 3 of them here. We have the pure F sound, which is fang. Examples such as fang. We have feng, we have fu, and then we have fop, and then we have the labialized form of F. We have fuan, we have fua, we have fuad, and then we have fun. And then we have the long version of this FW version, which is the labial form, the long labial full sound, which is the full. And examples, we have four, we have fui, we have fwam, and then we have fwang. So you can feel the difference, fwa and then fui. There's a kind of delay before you call the I. So fui, and this one is just fwa without any delay. So, but we don't have FY in the Tyap language. So if somebody is writing a fang and you are seeing A_FYANG, you know that that person is wrong, because the orthography says we should not have FY in the language, and we cannot have FIA, fiang, like we cannot have that. That is not seen in the language entirely. F and then IA, we don't have it. So it's always something else. FEA, or maybe FA underscore YA underscore ANG. I mean NG. That's a fiang. That's another form of saying true. So these are the possibilities, the only possibilities we have in the language currently. And then letter G has these following sounds, and after this very so Marshall, can you off your mic, please? Okay, so under letter G, we have these sounds in the Tyap language. We have the pure G sound, and examples we have gak, we have gat, we have a good, we have go, and then we have gg, and then we have gundung, and then we have the labialized form of the G sound. And examples we have guai, we have gugwap, which is cave, we have gugwa, we have agwada, and we have the labialized, I mean the palate form of the G sound, the palatalized form of the G sound. Examples we have gyat, we have gyep, and then we have agigyang, and then we have this is a different sound entirely. This is ba sound. The ba sound is supposed to be listed as its own kind of letter, but then it is placed under uh, letter G. So under this B sound, we have examples such as ba, and then we have a ban, then we have ban, and then we have ngbam, and then we have but, to ignore something or to ignore somebody, and then we have this palatalized form of the ba sound, and this palatalized form is actually not general in the whole of the language. It's only found in some dialects or sub-dialects of the Tiap language. For example, when you go to a Shongashui, uh, instead of the people saying buy, for example, GBAI, buy, they'll say BI. And then instead of saying Kabang, oh, so I think there's an error. Why is supposed to be here? So instead of saying Kagbang, they'll say Kagbiang. And then instead of saying but, they'll say Biat. So they always labialize the bar sound, or in some many cases. And then we have this GH sound. This is another independent sound entirely from this bar sound and this gas sound. This is pronounced R. R. So this bar sound is usually found amongst Niger Congo or Benue Congo languages, more predominantly languages like the Igbo language, the Yoruba language, Edo language, Eken in Ghana, and then Bambara in Mali, up to Central African Republic, the Baya language in Central African Republic and in Cameroon. They all have this bar sound, but outside of these very places, West Africa and some part of Central Africa, you don't find this bar sound anywhere else in the world. And then we have the ras sound. The ras sound is common even in Arabic, like the word for west in the Arabic language is Maghreb, and it is the ras sound. Like even Muammar Gaddafi, ras sound, GH. So this sound is also common, and it is not only in the Tiap language. This ras sound is found even in the Edo language. They also have this ras sound. Igbo has this ras sound also. So many languages have it, but not all the languages in the Niger Congo have this ras sound. So under it, we have ran, we have rat, we have rai to separate, and then we have rau, and then we have the palatalized, I mean the labialized form of this ras sound. Under it, we have words such as why, we have a who, and then we have wom, and then we have whoop. Then we have the palatalized form of the ras sound. We have examples such as yop, and then we have a yi, and then we have a yi, a yi, and then we have a yi, and then we have a yang, and then we have yek. Then we have the palate labial form of this ras sound. Under it, we have examples such as ui, u, y, ui, and then we have uap, u, and then up, uap, and then you have a yui, a yui, a yui. Okay, so this may not be in the entire ones. We may have GHYW, still U, but then we didn't capture it in this very document. And then under letter H, we have words or sounds such as the ha sound, the pure ha sound. Example, we have exclamation such as ha. We have the definite article who. We have hat, and then we have the labial form of the ha sound. Examples such as hua. We have ohua, and then we have huhua, and then we have yihua, and then we have the palatalized form of the ha sound. We have examples such as hiap, hiap, and then we have hiao, and then we have hiat, and then we have hyang, and then we have the long version of this palate form of the ha sound, and we have examples such as hiap. Sometimes you may hear as if there's an S inside this. After H, then there's an S, then Y, but then we're only having HYI, no S inside. So we have hiap, and then we have hiap, we have hiap, and then we have hiop, and then we have hiek, and then we have hio. Then we have the palate labial form of this ha sound, and the only example we have here is the hu hui, which is something that's warm. And then we have the jazz sound, and under the jazz sound we have about 4 variant form of it. We have the pure jazz sound. Examples such as jet, we have jum, we have jojo, we have junjung, and then junjung, and then we have jang. Then we have the labial form of this jazz sound. Examples, we have jojuat, jojuat, and then we have juat, and then we have this one is a different sound entirely. This is the ja sound, ja. But then in Tyap, we don't have the pure ja sound. It is always palatalized. It is always having the palate, which is Y. So we always have it as yeah. So examples, we have ji, we have yen, and then we have jip, and then we have yang, and then we have other examples though not captured, and then we have the palate labial form of this y sound. Examples, we have jung, and then we have joy, joy, joy. That's like a furo. And then we have the k sound. Under the k sound, we have letter k. We have this variance, and we have the pure k sound. And examples, we have a cat, and then we have can, we have ko, we have kit, we have kun, we have kun, and then we have kang, and then we have the labial form of the k sound. We have examples such as quack, we have kwam, we have kui, and we have kwam, kwam, and then we have the palate form of this k sound. Examples, we have kayak, we have kekyak, we have kya, we have kyang, and then we have the long version of this ki palatalized k sound. Examples, we have kyak, we have kyat, and then we have the palate labial form of the ki sound. Examples, we have kwak, and then we have kwat, and then we have nkyo, which is powder. And then we have another form of this very one again, palate labial again. And the examples we have kwat, 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 and then we have kwat, flower, flowers. And then we have the h sound. This is a different sound entirely, just like the r sound. This is the silent form of it. The other one is the voiced. Examples, we have hang, we have a h, we have high, and then we have ham, we have han or han, and then we have the labial form of the h sound. Example, we have a who, we have a whoop, we have whap, and then we have what, and then we have another different sound entirely, the bass sound. Just like the bar sound, we also have the bar sound in different languages of the Benue Congo languages and the Niger Congo, especially in West Africa and in parts of Central Africa. And examples of this bar sound, we have ba, peso, we have bo, and then we have bam, and then we have but. So you always hear this bar sound in languages like Igbo, we have this bar sound in Yoruba language, even though it is just written as letter P in Yoruba, but then it still the same bar sound. And then we have it in Idoma and many other languages. And then we have the labialized form of the bar sound, just like the beer sound, which is the labialized form of the bar sound. This one is also unique to some few dialects of the Tyap language. So, like those Oshongoshi areas and the other areas, when you, instead of hearing by, for example, you hear bi, instead of by, and then instead of but you hear pet, and then instead of bow or bow, you hear bill, bill. Okay, so this is the way they pronounce the bass sound. And then we have under letter L, we have these variants. There are about 5 of them also. Under the pure L sound, we have lang, and then we have
No, take
lung,
it up for me.
and
This the mouth button or that.
we have long, we have lung, we have look, we have lulu, and then we have a lang, a lang. Then we have the palate form of this l sound, and underneath we have examples such as liang, we have liu, we have liu, and then a liam. And then we have the long version of the palatalized form of the last sound. Examples we have yat. Also, you kind of tend to hear like letter Z present after letter L, LZY, but then it's not LZY, it is LYY, which is now reduced to LYI. So we have examples such as Ziat, and then we have a Liat, and then we have a Liat, and then we have Liai, then we have the U, which is the palate labial form of the L sound. And examples we have Liu, then we have a Baluak, and then we have the another version of this very one. Under it, we have you are, well, you correct it in your own sense. You have knowledge of the pronunciation of the language itself, but this one is a guide to help you understand this is how we pronounce this certain word. So we have you, and then we have lui, and then we have a lui. Uh, Sometimes you see it written Lyui, but here we have Lywi. It's still the same thing. It depends on preference now whether to use this or to use this, but then please spell it this way when you need to spell lui. And this is the general form of to beat. And then we have G, which is the first person personal pronoun form of to beat. Dwi, ndwi, but alui, balui, Zulu, and so on and so forth. And then we have letter M. Under letter M, we have these variants of letter M. We have the pure M sound. Examples, we have mam, we have mai, we have mup, we have meme, and then we have mang, and then we have m. And then we have the elongated form of the sound, like And then under this version, we have examples such as man, we have tam, we have a tum, we have a bam, and then we have ngbam. And then we have the labial form of the sound. Examples, we have mwang, we have mwai, we have mwa, we have mumwang. And then we have the long version of the MW. This is the labial sound. An example we have there is mwat. And then we have the palate form of the sound. Examples, we have memiat. And then we have myum, we have miram, and then we have miaram. And then we have the last one, which is the elongated version of the labial, the palatalized form of the sound. Examples, we have miam, and then we have mir. And then we have the letter N. Under letter N, we have like 3 sounds, independent sounds, just like the letter G and letter K. We have the pure N sound, which is the N sound. Examples, we have nat, we have nam, we have knock to build, we have niat, and then we have node. And then we have the elongated version of the N sound. We have fn, and then we have gan. And then we have the nga sound, nga. Nga, this is an independent sound, it's a different sound from this. This is Underneath, we have long, we have nat, then we have nga. So when we have only ng, it's supposed to be nga. This is ngat, not ngat, ngat, and then this is nga. But if we have only one G, that is nga. And then we have ngu. So some of us will spell NGU. That will be ngu under the Tyap orthography. But then for you to be able to have a G sound, you have to have the ng sound. Then we have G itself. This is ng. Then we have g. Then we have u. So ngu. Then we have ngak, nga, nga, ngak. This is not ngangak. This is not ngangak. This is ngak. And then we have ngat, ngat, or ngat. This is and then n, and then long monophthong r sound, and then t sounds. So ngat. And then we have the long version of this sound. And instead of us having ng, we're having nng. And examples, we have a kwang, and then we have chung, and then we have shung. And then we have the labialized form of this nga sound, but then it is not written ngw, just like we're not writing ng here. We are having nw instead of ngw, but it's a palette form of this nga sound. And underneath we have mwak, we have one, we have y, and then we have one. And then we have the labialized form of this mu sound, or the long version of this labialized na sound. And underneath we have examples like mwak, and then we have y, and then we have mo, and then we have one, and then we have the palette. Okay, this is not the palette form of this sound. This is an independent sound. Also, this is nya, nya. This is an independent sound nga, and this is an independent sound nga, and nya. These are the three sounds under letter N, and all of them, they have variants. So the pure sound of the nya sound, we have nyang, we have nyang, we have nyai, we have nyum, and then we have a nyum. And then then we have the long version, or the labial form of the nya sound. We have nyak, and then we have a nyung one, and then we have the labial form, the first variant form of this one. And examples, we have nyak, we have nui, we have nyo, we have zanu nyo, and then we have the second variant of the nyo sound. And then we have examples such as nyuan, and then we have nyuan, we have nyuan, we have nyuat, and then we have nyuai. So these are the variants under the letter N. And under letter P, we have about 5 variants as well. And the pure P sound has examples such as P, we have put, and then we have pampang, and then we have pampai. And then we have the labial form of the P sound. Examples, we have puat, we have a puat, we have umpot, we have pomporum. Then we have the long version of this pu sound. Examples, we have pompuam, and then we have pupui. And then we have the palette form of this P sound. And examples, we have piat, and then we have piap piap. And then we have the long version of this palatalized P. Examples, we have a pure, and then we have pure. So here also, sometimes you hear as if there's an S after P, PSY, but there's no PSY. We only have PYI. So we have a pure instead of the other one, and then we have pure. And then we have letter R. This one doesn't have another variant, it's just itself. And examples, we have rarak, and then we have kurum, and then we have tiram, and then we have birang, and then we have kankarang, and then we have turung as examples. Then we have letter S, and we have these two sounds, the S sound and then the sh sound, and each of them have variant forms under letter S. And under the pure S sound, we have examples such as sak, we have a sai, we have swat, we have shun, and then we have nshum, and then we have s. And then we have the labial form of the s sound. Examples, we have swan, we have swai, we have swam, and then we have suswak. And then we have the long version of this shu sound, the labial form of the sound. Example, we have shwan, and then we have shry, and then we have shroop, and then we have a shroom. And then we have the sh sound. Under the pure sh sound, we have examples such as shan. We have she, and then we have shim. We have short. We have a shock, and then we have shoot. And then we have the palette form of the sh sound. Examples, we have shwai, we have shwam, we have shwayang, we have shoshua, and then we have the sorry, this is the labial form of the sh sound, and this is the palatalized form of the palate form of the sh sound. Examples, we have shai, we have shi, we have shim, and then we have shai, and then we have the long version of the palate form of sh, and then here we have sheer, and then we have shiak, and then we have the palate labial form of the sh sound. Examples, we have shri, and then we have shwap, and then we have shwo. And then we have under letter T, we have about 6 of them, and we have 2 sounds also. We have the t sound, and then we have the ts sound, and both of them have variants. And under the pure T sound, we have tan, we have tum, we have tete, and then we have tongue, and then we have tung, we have ten, and then we have the palate form of the third sound. Examples, we have tian, and then we have a tiam, we have tiong, we have a tien, we have tiai, and then we have chu, and then we have the long palate form of the sound. Examples, we have tiai, and then we have tier, we have tiat, and then we have a tier. So this one also sounds as if there's tsy, but then in Tyap we don't have tsy. So we only have tsw, but we never have tsy. So the moment you begin to hear a sound is sounding tsy, always know that it's going to be tyi, not tsy. So we have ti, we have tier, we have tiet, and then we have a tier. And then we have the palate labial form of the third sound. Examples, we have try to show, we have try to cry, and then chuat to uh, um, what do you call it now? Okay, so we have the ts sound. This is an independent sound of this very one. And then examples, we have ta, we have tang, we have tung, we have tung, and then we have tong, and then we have tget, tget. Now, some of us who have become very anglicized, or we speak Tyap in the anglicized version, or we speak Tyap like English, when pronouncing words like this, Tian, for example, some people will be pronouncing this as Tian, Tian, although the short version of it, Tian, Tian, Tian. This is our ta sound, but this is our ta sound, ta. This is ta, ta, like pita, not pizza, pizza. Some, if they want to even say the name Peter, for example, they'll say pizza. It's not pizza. And you cannot turn to Tyap to a phone language because it cannot be phonicized, except maybe you are speaking the pidgin form of the Tyap language, which people use and put a lot of Hausa words in it. Maybe that's a bastardized form of the language. But if actually you want to speak a real good Tyap language, always be mindful of how to pronounce the sounds. It's ta, not tsa, not ta. Okay, then we have the labial form of the ta sound. Examples, we have twa, spirit, we have twam or twam, we have twat, and then we have twadwa, twadwa, and then we have the long version of the palatalized t sound. It is written tswu instead of tsww. And examples, we have tram, and then we have tree or tree, and then we have tran, and then we have try. So these are the variants under the third sound, and then we have the letter V, and we only have about 2 variants right here. And we have the pure V sound. Examples, we have van, we have vam, we have vac, and then we have vam, and then we have vang, and then we have the long version of the V sound. I don't know why we don't have the VW. It seems we have the VW, but well, the whole thing is just messy for now. We have not yet established whether it is, well, for the New Testament, the word one, for example, is spelled VWAN, VWAN, and in some other materials you see VWUAN, but then it's either we have VWU or we have VW only. But then we have vo written as VW. This is to play, and when you add an prefix, it becomes place of vo. So we are having just to maybe later on in our studies of the language, if it is very necessary that we have a third one, VW, and then VWU probably would introduce that. And then we have letter W. Sorry, the pronunciations. We have vo, we have one, we have wood, and then we have voi, and then we have letter W, the third to the last letter of the alphabet, and underneath we have only one form, just like letter R, and underneath we have examples such as one, we have our, it's supposed to be awak, and then we have wayam, and then we have wayak, and then we have one, and then we have wowak, and then we, and then we have letter Y, which is second to the last, and then we have only two forms of it. We have yi, and then we have the labialized form of the yi sound, and we have ya, we have yok, we have yai, and then we have yet, and then we have a yit, and then we have young, and then yud, and then we have the labialized form of the ya sound. Underneath we have a yuan, we have yuan, and then we have a yuat, and then the last letter of the Tyap alphabet is letter Z. Under letter Z, we have about three variants. We have the pure Z sound. Well, not pure, it's really not pure Z. This is actually DZ, but it is just written Z. Maybe later on, the language would separate the words under this one that should be written DZ and the one that should be just be written Z. But for now, we write it as Z. So this is DZ, and then we have Dan, and then we have Jam, we have D, we have Zong, and then we have Junjung. Even though some dialect or some sub-dialect of the Tiab language, they will pronounce this as za, not za, za, not da. But then, well, maybe we should have a separate DZ, or maybe we should just continue like this with the understanding that some may pronounce it this way and some will pronounce it that way. And then the second version, which is the labialized form of this za sound, we have Juat, we have Juan. Some will pronounce it as Zwan instead of Juan. And then we have Zhuang. Some will say Zhuang instead of Zhuang. And then we have Juat. Some will say Zuat instead of Juat. And then we have Juak or Juak. And then some will say Zuak or Zuak. And then we have Zuak. And we have Zuak. And then we have Zuak. And then we have the labialized form of the Zhu sound. So this one somehow is actually like kind of pure Z sound. And we have examples such as Zhuat and Zhuat, and then we have Zhuzhu, and then we have Zhuam, elephant, and then we have Zhuai, which is locust being cake. So these are the entire combination, possible combinations we have. So sometimes, so next time, if somebody is spelling Zam as Zyam, that's like Ziam now. You know that the person is not following the Tyap orthography, because Tyap orthography cannot have ZY. We can't have ZY in Tyap. It has to be Z and then something else. By the time it begins to sound like there's a Y, just know that there's an EA instead, not a Y there. So we either have it spelled as Zayam, or we spell it as Zayam, ZA underscore YA underscore M, or we have it as ZIYAM, Ziam, or Zayam, or Zayam. Three ways. But this is our standard way of spelling it, with EA instead of IYA or A underscore YA underscore. So this is the end of our course. If you have been able to reach this point, congratulations for completing this short course. There will be room for questions, but then let's just finish the entire thing, then we ask the question. Thank you very much. So the assignment we have right here is, for each of these letter clusters, all of them, we have about 100 plus of them. Write out 2 words of the Tyap language. This would help you actually to get familiar with the orthography of the Tyap language. The more you write it, not just read it, not just watch it and listen to it, write it. You are going to get more familiar with what is possible in the Tyap language, what is not possible to have in the language. And then answer all assignment questions from lessons 1 to 6 in an exercise book and submit to the organizers handwritten or typed. So if you may not be able to come for the bootcamp, please type it out and then you submit it online. And then if you are able to come, if you were very faithful to coming for the online version, we select you and then you are present in person. Please come with your assignment. You have between now and uh, next week Wednesday to complete it. By Thursday or by Wednesday, you must have been here in Kaduna if you are far away. But if you are coming from home, well, you can come on Thursday with it. While bootcamp is starting on Thursday. But then before we close, we have a statement by a young man called Frank Smith. Frank Smith said, language is not a genetic gift. Something genetic means that your parents pass it over to you as a genetic inheritance. But then language is not a genetic gift. Anybody can learn it. It is a social gift. In other words, you have to learn it in person. Then learning a new language is becoming a member of the club, the community of speakers of that very language. In other words, by the time you begin to speak the Hausa language very well, you begin to feel like a Hausa person. Believe it or not, that's the way a lot of people are. And if you speak the Tiap language, even if you're a Tiap speaker or native speaker or not, by the time you begin to speak the language, no matter what these Tiap speakers are speaking, you feel like you belong to the club. The same thing for the English language and the same thing for the French language. By the time you begin to speak French also, you begin to see yourself as a francophonie, as a person belonging to the francophone community, where that's the power of language. You learn it. Then a statement or another quote says that your language is your identity. When you lose your language, you lose your human identity. We all have our identities. Some people say, I am a child of God. Well, that's your spiritual identity. But you have a language identity, you have a human identity, and language is defining factor. I don't know if I stated before, but we in Jigawa State, there's a language called Auyo, and they had their language is Chadic. Actually, is related to the Hausa language, but it's really not Hausa language. They may not even be able to hear themselves if they don't learn the language. But our language is dead today because the speakers now speak the Hausa language. And whether they like it or not, today they are called Hausas. They are just going to contribute to the melting pot of the Hausa language. And the same thing for the Tiap language. By the time this language dies, if we all allow it to die, at the end of the day, we all become that very people that will speak their language. Of course, nobody will call you an English person, but everybody will call you a Hausa person because that is actually the language that is biggest around our region and which many of us speak, and we are proud of it. Well, be proud of it. By the time you lose this very language that you were given by God, maybe probably will just attach you to the Hausa people, and then you'll become a Hausa person. So thank you very much for being with us. And if you have any question in this very lesson, please reach out to Kuyet in through this very number, or maybe you reach out to us on this very website, our Meta page on Meta Wiki. So thank you very much. I'll stop sharing for now. But then before I stop sharing, let me just show us something on our page on Meta Wiki. So if you come over to this very page right here, you see that today is our closing date for this very online classes. From 13 to 15, we're
Your
going to
screen,
hold
you are
an
not sharing
in-person.
your screen.
Oh, sorry. I stopped sharing the screen, thinking that so let me share my screen again. And um, okay, so I believe you are all seeing my screen right here.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. So when you are able to come to this very page, our MetaWiki page, you are going to see that we have been able to finish with this. Today is the last day. After today, we are going to mark this one as done, and then we await this very last part of it. So this very last part of it, we are going to come in person for those who are actually serious, who attend these very classes. And we are going to have about 3 days of program, of this very program. On the very first day, we are going to have these very things you are seeing. We are going to fix everything that we need to fix before that very time will come. We are going to have our lunch, yes. We are going to have games, 2 rounds of games and a final, because the duration is not so much. And then we're also going to work on our Tyap Wikipedia and then on the Tyap Dictionary. By the time you click on this, you are going to see this page, which is dedicated to this very bootcamp program. We are going to have more than these articles you are seeing right here. There are going to be many. You are going to become Wikimedians during this very bootcamp, and as well as know how to write this language, because we're having this so that you have an understanding of the orthography as a speaker of the language, so that you can be able to contribute to the Tyap Wikipedia and the Tyap Dictionary and other language Wikipedia. By the time we finish this one and there's no place for you to apply, then what's the purpose of this very program? There's no purpose. So that you have to become a Wikimedian and begin to contribute to our project. And then we are going to have all these things you are going to see on this very page. And then on the second day, we are going to have our classes as well, classes like this, and then we're going to have our lunch, and then we're going to have our second game, our second round. And by the time you click on this very dictionary, you are going to see this very page. It's still very basic. Yes, we are going to have a lot of words right here. You are going to learn how to create them. You will not get confused. Don't get confused. We have templates right here to help you to be able to, if you are creating words under nouns like allure, you have a template to follow. If you are going to use under verb, you have a template to follow. We are going to teach you how to use this very dictionary, and you are going to enjoy it very well. So on the third day, we are not going to take so much time because we are all going to go back home on that very third day. But on that very third day, we are going to have um, no, forget about this one. On that, okay, this is actually going to be an exam on that very day. So all we have learned thus far, we are going to actually have an exam, and the exam is going to cover dictation and is going to cover reading comprehension, and then we are going to have our last game, which is going to be Scrabble. So you are going to put everything you have learned into practice, and we're going to divide you into different groups, about 3 groups or so. It depends on how many people who get qualified to be present here. If at the end of the day we only have about 6 people, they will reduce these groups to about 2 groups instead, which we call short, which are going to be teams actually. So we're going to have something like a teams challenge, and we're going to have this teams challenge both in the classes for Wikipedia and dictionary creation, and also in the games. So it's going to be so. And at the end of the day, we are going to have prizes for the teams that come up tops in each of them. So please try to be very serious with this, and also you can be able to see. Yeah. So you are going to see all our programs, all our pictures that we have taken. This one we have not done anything yet, but by the time we start the boot camp, we are going to have a lot of images, and then we are going to have a lot of sounds uploaded as well. So please just gear up, wait for us until Wednesday when we come, and then Thursday we'll begin. We are going to start with an orientation. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or I've stopped sharing my screen right away. So if you have a question, please go ahead, ask your question. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Um, well done, come back.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, zibianye number kan mfanyo yukuita na nyaliari. So at this moment, we're just open for questions because I believe Kamba have shed more light. There are some things I wanted to answer, but we have also made justice to all of that. So, any questions so far based on the session? And as the bootcamp is approaching, if you have any other question, even outside the session, you can go ahead and ask. So I'll respond to it. So let us use this few moments as pre-bootcamp questions. If you need clarity about anything pertaining to bootcamp, please shoot. Before we go, Who is just joining us on this session for the very first time? Who is joining us for the first time here? Just raise your hand. We don't have newcomer. Okay. So, no question from anyone? All right. So, thank you very much, everyone, for taking your time. I believe if you have been following this online session, even if you are not a language speaker by now, you should be proud of at least identifying some words, and you should be able to pronounce some words clearly with quite a clear understanding of how to write them if you have been following it religiously. Because we have done a whole lot of justice to this, and all the presentation slides, Bernard, all the presentation slides are there on the meta page. All you need to do is to go to your Google, type Tyap Wikimedians User Group, maybe yes, then after which we go to activities. From activities, we go to 2026. I think the bootcamp now is at the first on the list there. Once you enter, scroll down, you are going to see everything that has been done, including the slide and the assignment. They are also contained in that place. So please try as much as you can. Remember, the selection process for those who make it to the in-person session depends on your seriousness about your assignment and about your session. Remember, we are taking notes. Even if we are not taking notes, at least the session is being recorded. We can always go back to check who are there and who is serious and back it up with your assignment. Those will also inform who will be part of the bootcamp. So I want us to take this very serious. If you have done your homework, all you need to do is just snap it and then send it to us. Send it to me in particular. We're going to see it there and then analyze it and see how we can be able to work with the numbers. So thank you very much to those who have been quite consistent with their assignment. We appreciate you. And today I can see that a lot of people have been responding with their assignment today. I don't know who told you what, but I'll say what that person told you is actually working because we have received a lot of assignments today and we hope to receive more. Remember, we have another assignment today. For those of you who have not been consistent, you have about all from week 1 to this week 6. So all your assignments are pilot. So you need to submit them between now and Tuesday letters. So that by Wednesday, and remember for those, you should expect a notification. For those who make it to the bootcamp, you should expect notification between now and Monday. No, let's say by Monday letters. But all of us should be prepared in case you make the numbers, then you'll be informed by Monday whether you make it to the bootcamp or not. So that is how it's going to be. So we'll try as much as we can to work with the serious ones because all this we are just trying to see which one work for us. So thank you very much for everyone who has been back to back, who have been consistent with this. We appreciate you. I can see Samkwan, special thanks to you for all you do and thank you very much. Bernard, I don't know whether to call you Adams or Adam. So anyone will call you was Adams anyway. So thank you very much also and Lydiana, thank you. I can see Judith, thank you very much. And I can see Kajon. Kajon is literally going to become one of the emeritus when it comes to Tyap Wikipedia project or Tyap language project. So thank you, Kajon, for the work you do as well. Yeah, so and to other ones, I can only see Jitsi. I can't identify them by names, but we see you as well. Thank you very much. Me that is speaking, my name is Kuyet, and I want to appreciate myself as well. And to Kambai, who has been taking all the heat from day one, taking us on the lessons. Thank you very much for what you do. We appreciate everything you've done for us. And on this note, I don't know, do we still have any question or you need clarity about anything? Any question from anyone before we go? All right. So on this note, we just want to appreciate you. I don't know, can buy any final note from you before we go?
Okay, so no, I just want to say thank you for to all who have been present from the very day one to the very to this very moment of our online program, and we look forward to seeing you in person in Kaduna. So to go ahead and done for you
Thank you, Kamba. Thank you.
that.
For those of you who are not going to make it, thank you, Kajon. Thank
Know how to add when joining. Uh, know how to add when joining. Follow cheaters and all of that. So I don't know how you may identify them.
I didn't get your question quite clearly.
I said for example, this follow jet is it Jester? So people
Okay, just
have their names. How can you identify them?
okay. You mean how do we identify those people?
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
oh dear. Well, uh, we can't identify them unless they want to be identified. Some people just prefer to be anonymous. It is okay. Some people wish to be anonymous. That is also okay. So there's no crime to that. But if they wish to be identified, all they need is just to put up their name out there. So that is there. And we have made another error. We are supposed to submit our uh, data reimbursement, which skip off my head. But please, all of us that are on the call, please do well to send your network. Sorry, what do you call this thing? Your number, so that we can have your data reimbursed. Send your number and your network and the name you are using on this call. The name you are using on this call, because we are going to take a screenshot of this. This is what we are going to use to identify who participated and who did not. So please do well immediately after the session. Send your details so that you can have your data reimbursed. Thank you very much. So from me to you, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Tyap Wikimedians User Group, the organizers of the Bootcamp Season 3, Tyap Wiki Bootcamp Season 3. We have come to the end of the online session, and next is our in-person session, which is coming on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of August 2026. And by then, we hope to have a whole lot of us there on the in-person bootcamp. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you all. We look forward to seeing you in person. God bless you all. So thank you, and bye-bye.
Oh, bye.
Thank you.
Ngwanu, engine.
All right. Jonjoneshi,
Uh, uh,
thank you.
So say ruwa badan na.
so the question question.
Sai wuri zan je can kana. Question